It's been a great weekend, and we're ready to have some fun. Greetings, good evening, how the hell are you? Going at 25 minutes till the top of the hour on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, May 19th, 2013. Welcome to your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. This is Beyond Ringside. Fast Eddie Layne, live from the vault one more time in the current Full Range Entertainment Studios in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. Welcoming in tag team partner of this segment, the one, the only multi-time NWA Women's World Champion, Tasha Simone. How you doing tonight?
You know what? I'm doing peachy, Eddie, and I'm going to tell you right now before we go any further, how do you kill the finish or the direction that a company wants to go with a championship belt? Publicly say that they are going to put the belt on a particular person, and all of a sudden it changes. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying for months that Casey Carlisle would not be the NWA Women's World Champion when she left Texas, but that little piece of disrespectful trash Barbie Hayden would be. And I guess I said it publicly enough and tagged the NWA in it enough that they decided that they might not want to go in that direction, and Casey Carlisle is still the NWA Women's World Champion.
And I will say congratulations on that part because, of course, the conversations we've had with Casey here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network have all been tremendous. I've enjoyed every one of them from that vantage point. You know, and we can agree to disagree. I don't know Barbie Hayden that well. I just know what I've seen as far as the video footage. I know what I've seen as far as the public relations footage. I don't know her behind the scenes. I've never worked with her. So I know that she was originally slated to come to the state of Alabama at one point in time for a show, but that kind of got changed up at the last minute. And for a lot of people who thought that Casey Carlisle was going to be a transitional champion, I don't know a transitional champion that's held onto a belt this damn long.
How many times has she defended it?
I think my count is 9.
She's defended this belt 9 times.
I'm not sure. I think it may be more, but I also know that Casey does take bookings outside of the NWA.
She does. Who has she defended it against? Because I know the only 2 matches that I'm aware of that she's defended it besides these with Barbie are the 2 with La Rosa Negra.
Okay, I knew about those as well. I do not have a checklist in front of me. You have me at a disadvantage.
Well, you have to understand, Casey's doing something that no NWA champion is supposed to do, and I also think it's disrespectful to a world title. I believe if you're a world champion, you give up all other titles.
Well, yeah.
They should not take precedence or even be treated equal to a world title. So you may be seeing her defend other titles and think that it is a world title defense.
And this is one where I'm going to say, may Bruce Tharp and Chris Winquillo forgive me in advance on this, but I know that part of the current booking structure for the primary board-controlled championships has undergone a change since IWC took over the National Wrestling Alliance. And we've discussed it here on BR. It's actually been discussed a lot more in depth over on To Be Determined show. And I have to wonder if that booking structure has led to a decline and drop-off in the number of different bookings that are being made by, because you have to remember, what was it? The Kings of the Underground were based out of NWA Houston, Tony Brooklyn's area. Was Tony Brooklyn paying the additional champions fee to the front office of the NWA?
No, the wrestler. Look, see, you're going to be nice about it. I'm not, because I'm not married to any promotion. Any company that expects a wrestler, when it is in their contract, to have a booking fee that goes to the office, which is fine.
Yeah.
But that booking fee should be paid by the company
Correct.
that they are wrestling for to the office, not the wrestler.
Correct. I'll agree to that 100%.
I'll just go out. You're being nice about it. I'm just going to go right out there and say that's bullshit. And I know we're supposed to watch our mouths on here, but look, let's be honest. The office didn't take in the bumps. They're not the ones who have to go to the chiropractor on Monday after a weekend of hitting concrete flat of their back or landed on their head and getting concussions. We are.
I understand
and who the hell are they to ask for money out of our PO for a wrestler to defend a belt that is to make their company look better?
Exactly. I mean, I'll agree to that 100%. I believe it should come out of the promotion side of it, not the performer's side of it, not the wrestler's side of it. Like to welcome in tag team partner Mad Dog Matt Denton. What's up, Matthew?
The sky, the clouds, falling bird poop.
If it's falling,
no, that's down. That's coming down. That's not up.
There you go.
It's still up as it's falling.
Well, this is true. This is true.
Especially if you're an ant, then you just sit back and scream, avalanche! I've got to say this, and I don't know if either of y'all have been small subject change. We'll come back to the NWA topic in a minute if you're up for it. I don't know if you've had a chance to catch any of the X Games out of Barcelona. I have to say something. I was watching the GoPro BMX Big Air competition, and Zach Warden pulled off a gold medal final performance that just left me basically going, holy F-bomb. Because if you've seen the Big Air, the double ramp that they have, of course, you come down off the wall, you've got the first ramp, then you've got a second scoop that goes up to a higher Big Air ramp. The first one, he did a backflip, double back with the bike. And I'm sitting back going, holy crap. And then he sticks the first landing, goes up the second wall, and goes for a double-double. Basically the full double spin with the bike, and I'm just sitting back going, I could not have hit that when I was 16, much less now. And I will say this, everybody came unglued out of their chairs and just completely popped when he hit that move. I haven't seen it done. I mean, I'm a huge BMX fan. I used to ride BMX many, many moons ago, back in the dark ages. And to watch some of these guys just absolutely light it up, I'm actually having to look up at God and go, I thought you created gravity. And I thought it was supposed to be the same for them as it was for me. But I have fallen victim to gravity. But if you get a chance to, I know it's going to be up on ESPN's website, and I know it's going to be on the X Games site, and I know it's going to be on YouTube eventually. Do a search for Zach Warden, and just Zach Warden, probably gold medal, and see if that last jump comes up, and I dare you to watch that and not go, damn! And I almost have to wonder right now, another small subject change. I almost have to wonder if Luke Rockhold is holding his head and going, damn, this morning. Tasha, you and I were talking about this off air.
I think Luke Rockhold is still looking for his head myself.
Last night, Vitor Belfort came out smoking. UFC on UFC on FX8. A lot of people were expecting a slightly different outcome because Rockhold had been very highly touted coming into this fight. And for the first round, spinning back kick to the head. Score. And if my notes are right, I was doing some reading around earlier today. And actually, isn't that the second consecutive fight that Belfort has won with that kick?
Yes, and it's something that if people follow MMA only through UFC, they may not know who Luke Rockhold is. This kid is not a nobody. He was a very dominant fighter at 185 in Strikeforce. He was coming off of a very high, powerful ride coming out of Strikeforce into UFC. However, there was some question as to whether the pre-fight jitters were going to get to him. I don't think the pre-fight jitters got to him. I think that foot to the head got to him quickly.
And I'm really kind of apprehensive about how to broach this subject. Because I was doing some reading, and I'll say it point blank. I was over on MMAJunkie.com. And that's where I do some of my reading, if not a lot of it. They normally have a very good balanced way of putting things over there. They're not overly dramatic and all the other crap. But one of the topics that has been brought up has been Belfort and the testosterone replacement therapy. There are some who are looking at that as a pure utilization of a style of PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, even when administered by a physician.
Well, apparently marijuana is now, too.
Marijuana, I'll admit the fact, for me, marijuana is a performance-enhancing drug, especially when I'm trying to think and trying to remember things. I have short-term memory. And
Yes, but I agree with it being looked at as a PED because it slows your reflexes. And a young man just had to, they changed his win to a no contest, and he had to give back a substantial amount of money because he tested positive for THC. Now, in all fairness, he knows that he's not supposed to do it, so that part I understand. If you say it's a banned substance, it's a banned substance, but I disagree with it being defined as a PED.
I disagree with it being a banned substance. But that's just me. I mean, think about it like this, and this is something I want both of your opinions on. Now, we live in a world where in America, the USDA and the U.S. Drug Administration, whatever, all of the above, the Food and Drug Administration, that's who I'm trying to think about, will authorize a drug through Pfizer or one of the other major companies that the side effects include male pattern baldness, obesity, heart murmur, liver failure, kidney damage, renal,
episodes of psychosis.
But it will cure the hell out of a hangnail. But yet, lo and behold, something that has shown no real negative side effects, and for those of you that want to call marijuana a gateway drug, I'll call you a liar to your face because you're misinformed. I'm 47 years of age. I've smoked weed for a number of years on and off, and I've stopped smoking it for 5 years ago. Never done coke, never popped pills, never put a needle in my arm unless it was a doctor or a nurse doing it. So there's your gateway drug theory. I'm addicted to work more than anything else. And we're talking about a substance that is made on this planet and not bleached, not refined, not chemically enhanced. And it's illegal.
Comes down to this. If God made grass and man made beer, which one do you trust?
I trust grass. Oh, Tasha, your thoughts?
I'm about as straight edged as you get as far as the drugs go. Everybody that knows me knows that. However, I believe that the only reason that marijuana is illegal is because the government would lose money if they made it legal. I also believe that we don't have the right to make something illegal that is going to grow, whether it is cultivated and harvested or not. This is something that would grow naturally. It's not a man-made drug. It's not something that you have to manufacture. It's something that grows on its own naturally, just like tobacco.
Now, there is a lot to be said for hydroponic growing techniques. However...
But I'm saying, though, it's going to be, whether you do it that way or whether you just walk out in the field somewhere and find a plant, it could grow on its own.
Yes.
It doesn't need a person to cultivate it and baby it and water it and put bullshit on it. It's going to grow on its own.
I really just ultimately get tickled at the rigmarole that starts up anytime. And if you want to go and I've heard people try to make it a religious argument. I'm sorry, there is no religious argument. This is the planet that God has made. Guess what? God created it. God also created a copperhead snake. But still, I mean, don't mess with the copperhead. Don't mess. Go ahead.
I'm also going to say that it's BS, and I know the Diaz brothers catch hell all the time because they're jackasses. But it's also BS that Nate Diaz is suspended and fined because he called the little punk that went whining to Dana about wanting the money and the knockout of the night because Headley was stripped of his. He called him a fag. He wasn't making it a homophobic remark. He was calling him a fag, like calling him a bitch. It was just a different word. And I think that's BS, too. I'm so sick of people having to be PC all the time. We're not always going to say things people like.
Yeah, case point
Over it.
Case point scenario, one of my favorite drivers of all time having his major rant when it came to Joey Logano, and I'm referring to Tony Stewart.
No.
Say what?
No.
Hell yeah, Smoke.
He's a troublesome little MFer.
I miss Tony having his show on the XM radio.
I like Tony Stewart. He's got an attitude.
Oh, God, yeah. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to put this in proper perspective. A couple of years ago, when there was the war of words, especially, it's kind of like a one-directional war of words, from Kyle Busch to Dale Earnhardt Jr. in NASCAR.
Okay.
NASCAR's ratings went up a little bit because NASCAR developed a rivalry.
Well, and let's not forget, it's a redneck sport.
Not as much as it used to be. It's more than just the good old boys on a Saturday night at the short track. It is a multi-million-dollar and borderline billion-dollar industry. And
sure. And that's why they try to keep the rivalries down. But they need to keep the redneck in the redneck sport. I mean, that's part of what the draw is. People like it when guys crash and they get out of their cars and bust each other in the face with their racing helmets.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, but that one little incident between Stewart and Logano where Logano threw a water bottle at Smoke, I'm sorry, that.
Yeah, when Tony Stewart throws his helmet at cars.
Now, that's funny. That is just a move of frustration because you and I both know, and everybody listening knows, there is no way in hell that a car is going to sustain major damage from a helmet being thrown at it. You want to put damage in play, make it a brick or something. I don't know. I mean,
exactly. And Danica Patrick is the female version of Tony Stewart.
And that's why Tony hired her. And also remember last night at the All-Star race, Danica Patrick won the fan vote in order to get into the All-Star race.
I'm actually surprised, and I'm not dogging Danica Patrick because I want to see her win a race.
So do I.
I really do. But it's like she's always a bridesmaid.
And how many times has Mark Martin been Cup champion? None. There's that bridesmaid theory again, where it's like, how many times in coming back to our home turf for a minute, how many times have we heard somebody who has been universally recognized as the ultimate number one contender, always a bridesmaid, never a bride, or the greatest in-ring performer to never win the world championship, Arn Anderson?
Exactly.
I mean, how many times, Matt, how many times have you heard that especially?
Way too many to count.
I mean, Tasha, I know it, you know it better than we do because you're active on the front lines, but you're also in a different territory area. I just used the T word. Oh my God, you're in a different territory geographically speaking than I am. I mean, we have different companies down here. You've got different up there, and I got
my backyard here. I'm just going to go on and say it. The NWA promotions that run out of the Nashville area may look good cosmetically, but they are backyard promotions. I'm saying that openly, and I hope someone hears me because I mean it and I stand by it.
Okay. Now, this is something that I haven't asked recently. I mean, Matthew, have you had a chance to keep up with some or find out more about some of the promotions that are going on where you are?
Not really. There's one that's called Progress, but I haven't been able to check them out properly.
Do you ever do you ever get the opportunity to try to go check out the shows when you find out about them?
Not really, to be honest with you. Mostly because of travel issues.
Understand the concept. I've got to sit back and say I had a chance to listen to the Damian Wayne interview from this past Wednesday night over on TBD, and once again, Matthew, I want to say thank you for the gun of the control panels. It is greatly appreciated. We've had a couple of setbacks here at the BR Studios, and we're getting ready. The move is actually going to take place starting next week. So I'm going BR next week will probably be on hiatus. I think Matthew, you still got the control panel over on TBD, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. It's just
No
been,
problem.
the world has gone crazy as we know it. Speaking of going crazy, and I know that I say these letters, and I am met with anything but indifference, because you have people who love this company, and you have people that can't quite figure out why they don't like this company, and I'm referring to ROH. I think over the last couple of weeks, they're still trying to get things aligned as far as ROH versus Scum. Because they had Adam Cole in place as a very popular babyface character. And now he's riding that dividing line about whether or not I really want to be a face or I want to go with Scum. Am I ROH? Am I SCUM? Am I going to go with Carino? And they showed the match, or they showed a match last night on ROH TV. Kevin Steen and Adam Cole. First off, loved it. Great match. If you get a chance to, watch it. I know that our esteemed colleague here on BR and TBD, Wicked Nemesis, isn't a big Kevin Steen fan. But by the same token, I have to sit back and say the way Steen has been working, especially over the last few months, he does himself justice. And actually, I'd love to have him on for an interview. I'm actually starting to work on that theory. They're coming out of Border Wars. They're getting ready to head for Best in the World later on in the season, later on in June. They're getting ready for a couple of live events. And I'm going to say it like this. I don't know how much you get a chance to see it. I don't know if you get a chance to see it. But I think once they find out how they want to shake out the ROH versus Scum storyline, I think it's going to be a lot better. Now, ROH is not suffering at this point. I think that anytime you pull an invasion angle or a hostile takeover angle, that you leave a lot of gray area, and sometimes more than you think you do. You're always trying to play on the forced drama of who can we trust, who can we not trust, who's going to turn, who's going to stay. I mean, I know, Tasha, you've seen that firsthand, right?
What's that? I missed what you were saying. I was reading.
Okay. When it I am going to shoot you.
Hey, save the bullets. I think somebody else needs to be shot before Tasha does.
We're not even going.
No,
Hey, I didn't mention names.
Thank
Could
you.
be anybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I ain't in that.
Oh, I know you're not.
I know that if I get...
Listen now, I promise.
I know that if I could give both of y'all the green light, it'll end up being Armageddon all over again. And why am I just having a flashback to a John Boy and Billy sketch? Armageddon! Okay.
Hey, I'm having a flashback back to last October.
You know... The question that I put out there is, when you're in the middle of an invasion or a hostile takeover angle, do you sometimes leave too much gray area and too much room for interpretation? In most cases.
This is what I always think seems to be lost on an invasion angle. They're overdone completely. But they're always the same thing. Group A comes in to attack Group B, then Group B retaliates. You never see a mole in either of the groups. That would add just that little bit of flavor. I mean, they may tease about it, but it's never really there.
Correction. I know you don't watch WWF, or as it was at the time. But in the WCW, ECW invasion of the WWF, Kurt Angle jumped ship to the Alliance and was the mole, basically screwing them over at Survivor Series.
Gotcha. But what I'm saying, okay, there's one time, but for the most part, you see it never happens.
True.
And it's something that could add that little bit of flavor because it is the same old, same old.
Understand the concept. Do me a favor, hang tight. We're going to go to our top of the hour break. We'll be back on Beyond Ringside right after this.
This is Hector Camacho Jr. and you are locked in with Beyond Ringside. It's Junior time.
Get ready for an explosion on stage. Keith Urban, like the Fuse Tour 2013. It's gonna be a long hot summer. We should be together with your feet up on the dashboard now. Keith Urban, August 22nd, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. I'm alive and I'm free. Keith Urban. Who wouldn't wanna be me? With Little Big Town. On the pontoon, making waves and catching rays. August 22nd, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. I keep my heart and soul in the bone. Special guest, Dustin Lynch. Cowboys and reserve seats are on sale now at Ticketmaster. I wanna kiss a girl, I wanna hold her tight. More at KeithUrban.net. Keith Urban, like the Fuse Tour 2013, part of the Coca-Cola Star Series.
Hey, Eddie, it would help if you put the right headset on. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside, Sunday night, 5 minutes after the top of the hour. Fast Eddie Layne, Tasha Simone, Mad Dog Matt Denton. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Sunday night. Remember, of course, don't forget the 24/7 station, very much alive and well, with updated content on a semi-weekly basis, depending on what all's going on. I want to remind everybody that later on this evening, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio slated to go live right here on BeyondRingside.com and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Also, and of course, on Wednesday nights, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And what is that GMT time, Matt?
3 a.m.
Thank you. You can catch the To Be Determined show. He has that memorized now. I saw that he did that on Twitter one time. It's like, he finally got that one in there. Thank you for, because I suck at math, okay? I became obviously English too. Hello. It's just, no, okay, short version. I've been in the middle of doing a lot of sorting over the last week in particular. It's fun when you're getting ready to relocate, i.e. move, i.e. get the hell out of the place you're currently in, and you're looking at different things that you've accumulated. Some are collectibles, some are memorabilia, some are stuff, some are shit, and you're going through, and yes, I said that. Thanks for playing. Tasha, we're even, one each. There's our second.
Ah, shit.
There we go, our third fecal reference of the night. But yours was gratuitous, ours was not. Matt.
Mine doesn't really count because I used it in the terms of bullshit.
Okay, you're ahead 2-1 to 1. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, but who's keeping score? Certainly not me.
Shit. There you go. I'm in the lead.
See, there you go. There's that forced drama thing again.
Hey, I'm competitive. What can I say?
There you go. To which I will say, no, Sherlock. By the way, did anybody know that WWE is actually allegedly having a pay-per-view tonight?
Unfortunately, yes.
Who's WWE? I don't know. Some little company out of Stamford, Connecticut. But before we hit on that, I want to finish up. When you're going through personal effects, all the stuff that you've accumulated up to that particular point in time, and you're putting it into, yes, this is going to go to the new place, this is going to go into storage, this is going to go to the Hannah home or the to the Salvation Army, and this is going to go to the garbage can.
Or this mixer is going to go to Matt Denton.
Actually, well, dude, if you were actually in the mood to really actually actively DJ, I've got a Prodigy B52 double CD player. It's an all-in-one unit with a built-in mixer, 4-channel. I actually paid $4.99 for it new. I'm actually looking to let it go at a reasonable price.
I'll give you 5 cents.
No.
I'll give you 5 cents and 1 bullet to kill he who shall not be named.
Version 2.0.
If you stand them both side to side, take out 2 birds with 1 bullet.
I don't think there's any caliber bullet that damn strong to go through those two asses. However, yeah, but that's what I've been doing over the last 5 days in particular. Honestly, I've been going through a lot of stuff, and some is getting boxed up to go to storage, some's getting boxed up to go to the new place, and some is getting ready to go to the Hannah Home, which is the thrift store for the King's Ranch and the Hannah Home, the boys and girls shelters and ranches. So there's some stuff I'm going to donate to charity.
I'm a good charity, by the way.
Yes, you are. You're a great charity case. And coming up tonight on the alleged WWE pay-per-view called Extreme Rules, I'm looking at the lineup, and there's honestly two matches that I'm really interested in seeing how they play this. Triple H, Brock Lesnar. Let's go and lay the groundwork for predictions and thoughts match by match real quick. Normally we do this before the top of the hour in the final segment before the pay-per-view kicks off. But I want to go ahead and take these one at a time, and I want to get both of your thoughts on this. One of the matches that I'm actually interested in seeing is Chris Jericho Fandango. These two put on a great match at Mania.
Stop. It's Fandango. You need to let the A's breathe.
I really wanted to make a play on syllabication there, but I'd opted not to.
I'm also going to be rubbing me raw with Ted Guinness.
Yeah, he needs to. He needed to get that to your email address, not mine, this week.
Yeah, we figured that one out.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. I didn't. I got in Wednesday night late here at the, and I realized it's like he doesn't have that access. Damn it. So, and by the way, I'd love to thank Wicked for just totally running the awkward moment of the week, because I sent the text when he was talking about the upcoming, noting he didn't push BR, and noting when I sent the message over about GCW Radio, because that was something we had talked about. It's like, okay, we'll just pull that one out of our ass. But in all sincerity, Jericho Fandango has the potential to absolutely steal the show. That and one other match in my book. They put on a great match at Mania. You're talking about Chris Jericho, genuinely one of the best in-ring performers, period. I mean, look at the superstructure of the title situation. What is the main difference between the WWE title and the Intercontinental title?
There is none.
Thank you. Not a damn thing. So technically, Jericho's a 15-time world champion.
And he beat up Goldberg in the locker room for real.
Thank God. Well, at that time, thank God. Now it's just like, thank God. Okay.
Hey, he beat him with a headlock.
Front face lock, actually. Front face lock.
Yeah, same thing to me. What do I know? I'm a fan.
Oh.
Matt.
No comment.
Oh, that's right. Eddie said we can't go there, didn't he?
Go where? Oh, no.
Babysitting here.
I am not babysitting tonight.
Sorry, what's that smell?
Matt pooped his diaper.
I think I smell some fire.
You are not a smart Mark. You're a smart wrestling fan.
Oh God, I'm never gonna call myself a smart. Ever.
Never. Now, here's the thing, though. And before we go into the Jericho... Now, let's go ahead and go into it. We'll pick this topic up. I'm making a note real quick. Denton, your thoughts. Jericho Fandango.
I have no interest in this match whatsoever. Fandango is just a bust right now for me. The entire run from pre-WrestleMania to right now, nothing is going to get Fandango over for me. But there was one point where it almost turned the corner for me, and that was when the European fans started just shitting all over every match by singing Fandango's theme.
Yeah.
But that was more to do with the crowd than to do with Fandango himself. So right now, you can't polish a turd. Just flush that gimmick away, please. Let's never speak of it again.
Tasha Simone, your thoughts?
I don't know who that Fandango guy is, but I'm a huge fan of Chris Jericho.
Me too.
I think that he is actually one of the most underused talents that they have in a way that he should be used. Yes, he gets airtime, but God, he's just such an incredible wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't really get to be in the ring very often with people he can just be Chris Jericho with.
I'll agree to that.
Here's the thing with Chris Jericho for me, is that in this program with Fandango, Chris Jericho, for me, didn't make him look good at WrestleMania. And that's not Chris Jericho's fault. That's Fandango's fault for me.
Right.
See, that's where I've got to argue, because the fact that, in my opinion, actually they did make it, they made each other look better than the situation called for. And remember, I agree with your statement. You can only polish a turd so much, but it's still just going to be a shiny turd. Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is, Johnny Curtis can actually go. And I believe Jericho was the logical choice to put him with. Because Chris Jericho can actually make a paper bag look like Frank Gotch. And
yeah, but Fandango isn't a... I was about... Whoa.
I know.
Whoa. I was about to be put in the naughty corner right there. Oh, God.
Orientation instead of bikini, dang it.
Flipping. There you go. Flipping.
There you go.
Fandango isn't a flipping paper bag. He's worse than a paper bag right now for me.
He's a wet
And that's
paper
just
bag.
my own personal opinion.
Match I can do without. Oh, and by the way, for the record, one thing that I really didn't want to do without, but because the way the damn gimmick was set up this past Monday night on Raw, I had to. I was actually wanting to see Edita in action. One of the 10-year veteran on Dancing with the Stars, who came out in probably one of the most elegant outfits I have seen, and I do mean, damn! Did I emphasize that word enough? No, I don't think I did. Stunning is the word. And, you know, granted, Jericho's been away from Dancing with the Stars for a while, and he's been doing the rock and roll thing, and he's been back in the ring part-time. But I still think he could...
Dancing with the Stars?
They were.
Yeah.
They led off Raw this past Monday night with a parquet dance floor on the ring itself, and they were going to do a dance contest between Fandango and Summer Rae versus Edita Slavenka and Chris Jericho. Now, Edita, I have watched her on Dancing with the Stars. She is one of the only reasons why I would turn it on. Of course, Cheryl's the other. Damn. And I was actually hoping that they would cut loose for a minute, but would they pull the fake gimmick, or they pulled the gimmick about Summer Rae twisting her ankle and Jericho coming over to check on her, and Fandango coming in and attacking from behind and setting that up that way, and then turn around. And I actually give credit where credit is due. They actually pulled off the fact that Summer, other than the fact that she sold the wrong ankle, she twisted her left and she sold her right. Oh my God. I was dying laughing. She goes down and grabs the wrong ankle. I'm going, holy crap. Somebody please, never mind, not going to do it on this show. I should have done it Wednesday night in the chat room. However...
Maybe she was dyslexic.
Yeah, and Miss Clairol 438 went way too far into the root system. It penetrated the brain and the cerebral cortex. But, like I said, I give credit where credit is due. They tried, and she actually sold the facial expressions, so Vince made sense to somebody else. One of the matches that I'm going to go ahead and call it the fish sticks match of the night is Randy Orton Big Show in an Extreme Rules match. Look, I like Big Show. I have a world of respect for the Big Show. He is genuinely one of the best big men to ever be in this business. Paul White has done wonders. I think he is misused half the time. When he is allowed to be himself, whether it be as a pure power heel, just the monster, or the happy-go-lucky babyface, the jokester, the prankster, the funny guy, I think that suits his personality base on the babyface side. Randy Orton, to me, and this is no disrespect to Randall Orton, is the biggest one-trick pony that I've ever seen in WWE and in professional wrestling sports entertainment. More so than Hulk Hogan was.
No, I disagree.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to disagree right now. Randy Orton can actually wrestle.
True.
He can. He has no choice. It's in his DNA. Will he ever be the heel that his daddy or his granddaddy was? No, he wouldn't make a pimple on their ass. But he can do one thing that Hulk Hogan cannot do. He can wrestle. He is limited by creative.
Well, that's true.
He's also limited by the amount of charisma he doesn't show in his promos. But that's just promos.
I
Nothing to do with him in the ring.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. But I think when they did the whole legend killer thing with him spitting in people's faces, which is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
I think that he got so in that mindset, all I have to do is spit in your face. He forgot he needed to do anything else.
Yeah, it's bad when the Damien Sandow song about Randy Orton has more of a charismatic spot on a show than any promo that Randy's cut in the last 6 months. He's monotone. If he could be monosyllabic, he would. There's no depth to his character. And like I said, behind the scenes, I'm sure he's a hell of a guy with the exception of the time that he pretty much... I think I may still have an issue with the night that it was Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston, and Kofi inadvertently missed a spot, and Randy's just going, stupid, stupid, stupid. It's like, who in the hell are you to do that in the middle of the ring on national television?
Mm-hmm. I think it was more that he blew the finish.
Irrelevant.
I'm just saying.
I would have popped for it. I would have popped for it, just because it would have been probably the most entertaining spot that I saw all night.
Probably. From your perspective, I can see that. But see, from mine, you don't disrespect somebody like that on national TV. You get yourselves together, you go back, you reset, and you go finish. You take the spot and take it home. Especially if it's the finish. You reset. Call it in the ring for 5 seconds. Creative's not going to be any more mad, and Vince isn't going to be any more mad than he already is. Reset it and make it work.
But Eddie, you just said the most feared words in professional wrestling.
Call it in the ring. I've never been afraid of those words.
There are only a handful of professional wrestlers, workers, who can do that anymore. It's not even taught by most people who teach wrestling anymore because they don't know how.
Right.
And that's why I go back to training.
Yep. You know, I kind of got tickled because here in our state, there was a message board going around about somebody trying to advertise people who could train, and the person who trains for Global was not mentioned in that. Even if I was not a part of Global, I'd have sat back and said, look, you stupid son of a...
Biscuit eater.
I know the people that you're trying to put over, and one of them I would readily put over as a trainer because he has a clue. But to intentionally omit because you're trying to be spiteful about the fact that we outdrew your ass 5-1 when you were basically bringing in the same main event. Of course, they went on early for us. They main evented for you, and you kind of lost your ass and left in the middle of a show. Ain't that right, Randy? Meanwhile, I think that anybody who openly advertises for someone who has a training school needs to openly admit the fact that they haven't trained under these people. They're going off what someone else has said or done. And if you can't be fair about it, don't open your flippin' mouth. But meanwhile, back at the ranch,
I'm gonna go a little further than that. Having a clue does not mean that you are qualified to teach someone how to wrestle. And anybody who is dumb enough not to check out all of the available places to train before they put their money down somewhere deserves whatever they get.
see, I think the part where I'm talking about having a clue is if you're going to advertise for someone.
Mm-hmm.
Have a clue about what they do and how they do it before you just openly say, oh, yeah, man, they can train you.
But you have to understand, these people may not have a clue. They may truly not have a clue. They may truly believe that they are good trainers.
And there are some people who should never even have a pair of boots to their name, much less be teaching people. But, Tasha Simone, your thoughts. Randy Orton, Big Show tonight. Extreme Rules match.
I'm just not a fan of Randy Orton. I was a fan of his daddy. I was a fan of his granddaddy. I'm not a fan of Randy Orton. I, like you, think that Paul White is at the level that Andre was, honestly.
Yep.
I think he is one of the few athletic big men that we have seen in a very long time, and I think that he is as misused as Chris Jericho.
I'll agree. Matt Denton? Coming back for your thoughts.
Randy Orton, Big Show?
Yeah.
Okay. Still not that enthusiastic about this, to be honest with you. What am I enthusiastic about WWE these days? Yeah, not much. Let's just go with Big Show, just for the hell of it.
I'm going to hope that Big Show goes over in this match because by the laws of logic, once again, I'm using that my favorite 5-letter word, by the laws of logic, there's no way in hell Randy Orton goes over Big Show in an Extreme Rules match. That would be like me versus Kobayashi in a competitive hot dog eating contest. Kobayashi should destroy me on that. Now, crab legs, I'll kick his ass. Peel and eat shrimp, I'll kick his ass. Hot dogs are a different story. Let's move on. Sheamus, Mark Henry strap match. Matt, your thoughts?
No, that's my thoughts on this match.
Tasha?
I just want to see somebody get the crap beat out of him. I'm not a fan of Mark Henry either. I think he needs to continue with his strongman efforts and stay out of wrestling.
See, I have to disagree with that because when Mark Henry is utilized properly as the power man. Now, look, I am a fan.
I'm going to blow your disagreement out of the water.
Go ahead.
At the end of the day, the marquee doesn't say utilize me properly because I'm a big man. It says professional wrestling.
You're right.
And if you can't be a professional wrestler, and this is the difference in Paul White and a lot of other big men, Paul White has learned his craft. Is he the most finesseful? No, he's not. He's a big man. But he can wrestle. He has taken the time to learn his craft. Mark Henry sucks. I'm a huge fan of Bill Kazmaier as a competitive powerhouse.
Right.
I would really rather see Kazmaier in the ring than Mark Henry. And he was not very he was not very good in the ring.
The way I'm looking at things, by the way, when did we officially take the word Indian off a strap match?
Well, there's a difference in an Indian strap match and a strap match.
That's true. WWE treats theirs the same way as a bull rope match where you have to touch all four corners, I think.
Okay, well, this is an Indian strap match.
I think they still do that on the strap match.
Yes, they do.
Logistically speaking, power versus power, I think Mark Henry, of course, holds a decided edge in the power department. I think in the speed and agility department, I think Sheamus definitely has the advantage. When it comes to in-ring intellect, I honestly think these two bolt up well together because I think that they do have their strong points to where they can offset the weaknesses that each other does have. All in all,
they're both big dummies.
All in all, I actually see Sheamus going over in this one, although Mark Henry should go over. Tag Team Championship match. Team Hell No versus Reigns and Rollins in what has for years been called a Texas Tornado Tag Team match. I'm looking forward to this one, but that's not the one that I was going to mention because I think the weak link in this match is Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins, solid. Kane, damn solid. Daniel Bryan, oh hell yeah. And I think this is going to be one of those cases. Once again, I'm going to use strengths versus weaknesses. Kane, very well-rounded, solid in the ring, knows his craft. Daniel Bryan, what can you say about him that everybody else hadn't said 3,300 times? Seth Rollins, remember, former ROH World Champion there, kids. Tyler Black. I've watched the guy work. And yes, he's had to change quite a bit of his style for WWE, but he still maintains enough of himself to where he remembers his roots. I'm just really not a big fan of Roman Reigns. I think he's Batista version 6.0. And I've got a feeling this is the night where the tag team title changes hands. But wait a minute. It does not say whether or not it is a championship match. So
It is.
It is a championship match. The titles will change hands tonight. The Shield will gain the tag team titles. Matt Denton.
This is actually one match that I'm actually pretty excited about because I'm interested to see if the Shield end up at the end of the show holding all the gold that they can, except maybe the WWE Championship, unless there's a huge double count out in the main event in a last man standing match because of the Shield interference. But yeah, I'm hoping that the Shield win, to be honest with you.
Tasha, your thought? Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the stats, and Team Hell No have been tag team champions for 245 days now.
Okay.
It's about time that they drop the belts.
Yeah, whatever happened to the old 3-and-out rule when it came to championships and Vince? Normally it was predictable as hell. Hold it for 3 months, lose it at the next major pay-per-view. Tell you what, Tasha, hang tight. I'm gonna come for your opinion on this one in just a second. Folks, we're taking the bottom of the hour break. We'll be back on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network right after this. What, it didn't say boobies again? Or boobs? Welcome back to Beyond Ringside.
Boobies!
There you go. I was waiting on that. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Welcome back to Beyond Ringside Sunday night, 25 before the top of the hour. Fast Eddie Layne, Matt Denton, Tasha Simone. We're talking about Extreme Rules coming up in just a few minutes on pay-per-view. Tasha, we're going to pick it up with you on the tag team title match tonight.
Huge Daniel Bryan fan, huge Christmas Creature fan, but I'm going for whoever the hottest guys are in the ring.
You have me at a disadvantage.
So basically, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be Scott Armstrong then to win.
Yes.
Hashtag hard body ref.
Going for Armstrong.
Like I said, hashtag hard body ref. I'm so glad that JBL jumped on that and ran with it. I thought it was hilarious and hell, and I loved it. The other match that I'm actually looking forward to this evening, United States Championship match, Kofi Kingston, Dean Ambrose from the Shield. I really think that because of, as of late, even though Kofi has turned it back up a little bit, I think that a one-on-one match with Dean Ambrose, i.e. John Moxley, a lot of you are going to remember that name, is just what Kofi Kingston needs to show that he can take his game to yet another level. Kingston is physically gifted, got a great head in the ring, regardless of what Randy Orton said in one match in particular. If you can show me somebody who's been in this business 10 years or longer that hasn't messed up one spot, I'll ask you to go and get a new set of glasses, because everybody's had at least one mistake. That's all I'm going to say, and I know Tasha's... Say what?
It's always the other person when it happens in my matches.
Honestly, I do think that this is going to be a short run for Kofi, because I agree there is a possibility that Dean Ambrose will take the U.S. title tonight to keep that so-called unbeaten streak for the Shield alive.
No longer unbeaten.
Okay, go ahead.
They lost via disqualification on Monday. Dean Ambrose lost to The Undertaker. There you go.
Okay. Would it be logical for Ambrose to have the U.S. title over Kosher Kingston? Hell, God bless. I'm having one of my days. Over Kofi. I'm actually picking Ambrose to take the title tonight. Denton.
I actually hope Dean Ambrose takes the title so Kofi can go back to FCW, NXT, what have you, and come back as Kosher Kingston.
Thanks. Thanks.
And rename the Trouble in Paradise. Did you see that? Think about it.
I like that. I like that. Tasha, your thoughts?
I have nothing.
I quit match. Number one contendership on the line. And before we go into that, if you saw Monday night, if you saw the way that this is being built in, has WWE handled the situation with Ziggler's concussion properly, Denton?
They've done it as well as they could do. The only other way that they could have handled things was to have Dolph Ziggler nominate Big E Langston to defend the belt for him. Considering it was a ladder match and a ladder match alone, if it was any other title match, just remove Ziggler completely and make it a number one contenders match, I guess.
Okay.
But because it would be a ladder match, it's not Big E Langston winning via pinfall or submission and getting that fast track to the main event, which he hasn't earned yet because he's only had about 3 matches on WWE TV.
Right.
But a ladder match, it would have made perfect sense.
True. Who do you think's going over?
Due to the fact that Dolph Ziggler was taken out by Jack Swagger, I think Jack Swagger's going to win, and it's going to be a kind of way to turn Dolph face, even for a little while. Actually, no, it's a perfect catalyst because the fans have been cheering for Dolph Ziggler for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time, and he still remained that cocky heel. He can still have that cocky edge, but play to the fans a little bit more.
Before I go to Tasha, you just said the magic word right there, because remember, there have been numerous occasions where Adam Copeland was cast in the role of heel, and yet the fans cheered him, and they would pop big time for him. And I see that same kind, not exactly the same, and I'm not putting him on the same page, although Ziggler is a very, Nick Nemeth is a very talented person in the ring. Damn talented. But I do see similarities. Also, I'll put it in the same line as Eddie Guerrero, because I always flash back to one match in particular, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio in San Diego at the San Diego at SDSU, and that was the night where it was Eddie and Edge. I'm sorry, Eddie and Edge one-on-one. Edge got his music for us. He left, and then all of a sudden they started playing Latino Heat, and the crowd popped for Guerrero, and that's when they made that real quick cut to commercial, because they didn't want to see people. They didn't want to show people cheering the heel, and even Guerrero had that real puzzled look on us. You're cheering me? Holy crap! Hold on, wait a minute. And thus began the ultimate face turn for Eddie Guerrero. Now go from there. I see a lot of those similarities in the way the crowd has been popping for Ziggler. So could he effectively make that pure face transition? I don't. With AJ Lee and Big E Langston, I don't see him making the pure face transition. Langston's got to go. AJ, the crowd can still pop for. There's still enough there. But Langston just, and I'm sorry, personality-wise, Langston brings nothing to the table in my book.
You think?
Nothing at this point.
Because I think, given a little bit more time, Big E Langston could be the total package for WWE. Apart from the total package he shows every night in that really, really obnoxiously tight singlet, which shows way too much. Way too much. I mean, you know something's wrong with WWE when you can't see divas wearing shit like that. And there's that word again. That's 5.
No, you're up to 8.
8? You sure about that?
Yeah, I double-checked.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Tasha...
shit.
I knew it. That's why I was trying to overdub you. Seriously. Go ahead.
Anywho, you know something's wrong when you can see Big E Langston wearing stuff like that, but you can't watch divas anymore wear stuff like that.
Yeah, I think
that's just me being a horn dog, I guess.
There's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with that, because believe me,
never said there was.
Nope, not a damn thing wrong with that. Tasha, your thoughts? Alberto Del Rio, Jack Swagger, I Quit match.
I'm gonna vote for the cute guy.
Dolph Ziggler. Oh wait, no,
he's not in the match.
Injured, right? Yeah, shows you how much attention I'm paying right now.
There you go.
The cute guy. Zeb Coulter's gonna win.
There you go. That's it. Zeb Coulter goes over.
Yeah, I got nothing on that one.
Steel cage match. Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Matt.
Have you seen my last tweet?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay.
Triple H should not be on TV.
My last tweet, and I'm going to read this verbatim, is F-bomb at Triple H, get the F-bomb off the TV. My whole problem with Triple H...
The king. Say it, just say it out, and then Eddie can't play.
Okay. Eddie, He's going to kill me for this, but I told Triple H to get the fuck off my TV. Because he shows no vulnerability whatsoever. Brock Lesnar tries to get under his skin. He bombards Triple H's office with, just wrecks Triple H's office. Triple H doesn't care. You could snap on Stephanie McMahon. Triple H wouldn't care. If Triple H was told that Brock's going over, then, wow, Triple H would go mad. But anything else, Triple H shows no vulnerability. And that's the entire problem with him. What can you do to get under his skin? Nothing, because he's going to laugh it off because he has to be the big bad Triple H. He has to be the ass kisser. Oh, ass kisser.
Ass kicker.
Wow, Freudian slip, ass kicker. As well as being an ass kisser.
There you go. Of course, it is daddy-in-law. Who do you think gets the Duke in this one?
Don't know, don't care. I'm hoping for Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar still has a year left on his contract. And what's Triple H going to do? Seriously, what's he going to do? Where can he go from here with a victory? Nowhere. He's done everything. Just let him retire and take over NXT, then end up taking over the WWE. Just get him the hell off my TV. Thank you.
Tasha Simone, your thoughts? Triple H, Brock Lesnar, steel cage match.
I've got to be honest. I feel about Triple H the same way I feel about The Undertaker. True story. There's only so many times you can see somebody win before you just don't give a damn anymore. I don't care.
And I think that's where I have been saying for the last 2 weeks that Brock Lesnar has to go over in this match. He has.
But I don't like Brock Lesnar either.
I think Lesnar has more of a future situation than Triple H does. I agree. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, and even shielded on shop.com or shopwwe.com. But there's nothing else that Triple H can do. I mean, he is... If he had sold Rage, as in Triple H Rage, not Rage, after the Office demolition, I probably would have more of an emotional investment in this match. But when he came off flippant, backhanded, and just like, I can't think of another word that I really want to use there. Abrasive would be a good one, but we just went into your corporate headquarters. We just went to your office and trashed it. You beat up my 40-inch TV, you bastards. I'd be that. I would be that mad. You beat up my TV set.
You also broke a replica of one thing that Triple H has made his career off of wanting more than anything else, really, and that's the World Heavyweight Championship.
And the sledgehammer.
And the sledgehammer.
Yeah. I'd have been more pissed off about the gimmick being broken than I would have been the belt. The belt can be replaced. The belt can be remade. Call Reggie Parks. Call Dave Milliken. I mean, hell.
No.
Okay,
Notice the belt. No, sorry, Tasha. But notice the belt that they used.
Yeah, I know.
It was a Figures Inc. replica.
I know. That's all they are nowadays, basically, is a Fig Inc. rep. The ultra deluxe version for $5.99 through the website.
Go back to, I think it's like 91, when Mr. Perfect broke the WWF Championship, the Winged Eagle, and they had to replace that. That broke up into little itty-bitty pieces. It didn't bend.
I know.
Yeah.
Just actually a perfect hit on that one, but of course, who did it? Tasha, you're now you were getting ready to come back with something. Go ahead and say it.
I was just going to say Reg Parks, David Milligan, same belt.
To a great degree. There are subtle differences between the two, unless they're using...
I know David Milligan real well. I used to work for him. Trust me when I say that. That's just how he is.
Yeah. I mean, I've had
Sorry, continue, Eddie. This can wait for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I've actually had a couple of conversations with Dave about a couple of belts that he made, also with the late Ed Schumann, and tremendous individual. Always enjoyed our conversations. And there's still a couple of belts that I would love that Milliken himself has made that I would love to see hanging on the wall here, because I believe that they are a huge part of history in pro wrestling. Now, I'm a big memorabilia freak. I think that's not a secret anymore. I mean, there are some things that I will purchase, and I never try to put myself over with anything that I have, other than the fact that I buy it as almost like a form of respect to tradition, history in the past, and remembering where we came from. And that's something that you always have to keep in perspective. I think that's where Wick and I have a difference. We've had a chance to discuss this, and we have similarities as the way we look at things. I'm one who can genuinely appreciate the journey that I've taken all the way through where I am. And I wish that a number of my pictures had not been destroyed on Palm Sunday 94 when a tornado came through and wrecked my parents' house, because they had a lot of my pictures from days gone by and videotapes of me on television. It's not that I want to show people and go, I've been on TV. Hey, look at me. I've been on TV before. I've been on TV half my freaking life. But either television, radio, or live events over half my freaking life. But it's a case of I'd like to go back and to be able to remember the good times that I've had. And that's why I have a lot of those things that I do. Now, okay, Matthew.
No, I was just going to ask Tasha's opinion on fans with belts. If it's only in the case of it being memorabilia, not that I'm going to go to shows pretending I'm the world champion or something. Like some people I know.
Fans with belts. I've said this a million times, the wrestling business is too accessible.
Yes.
Belts truly, this is something that I have said over and over and over and over again. Wrestling belts do not make a wrestler. A wrestler has to make the belts. And when you see fans carrying belts around over their shoulder, wearing them around their waist, that gives 100% verification to what I say. A title belt means nothing. If you want to purchase one online and hang it up on your wall and leave it there, that's great. Don't walk around with the damn thing. That's rude, and it's disrespectful to those of us who bump our asses off and put our bodies on the line for your entertainment when you pay your hard-earned money to see us. So don't disrespect us. That's my feelings on it.
See, there are actually 2 additional belts that I would like to add to my collection. One is the circa 1980s NWA World Television Championship. The reason is because the way things were written, especially when Arn Anderson held that belt, who I have the utmost respect for in this business and the sport of professional wrestling, that belt almost meant as much as the world title because of who was holding it and who pushed that belt to a higher level of prominence that had been seen for a while. And I think it's cool as hell that they got away with using the ABC, NBC, and CBS logos on that belt. Thanks for playing. I mean, but I remember, and the other, of course, it's like the main reason why I bought the NWA World Heavyweight Championship belt is because of the tradition that belt had for a number of years, i.e. Sweet Charlotte, as Adam Pearce called it. And one night in particular, before I ever got in this business, was when Ric Flair and Bob Armstrong, in front of around 11,000 people, at Boutwell Auditorium in Birmingham. I think it was around 11,000. It was sold out. No seats left. I was sitting front row for it. And I was just taking in the moment. I was watching everybody reacting to what was going on in the ring. These guys went 48 minutes, called it 60-minute draw. Yes, I was AR when I was a kid. I kept track of time. And that's why I used to get tickled. But to see everybody who was there, and there were nobody, the only person who was in a chair was in a wheelchair. Everybody else was standing for just about the majority of the match. And to watch subsequent champions like Harley Race, I mean, Jack Briscoe, Rhodes, when he held the belt 3 different occasions. Because of the way that belt has been treated during the 70s and 80s. And the prominence and the respect that it was held up to. Yeah, I wanted that for my wall. And actually, the Fig Ink version of that belt didn't suck. It's nowhere near the real one, but it still doesn't suck. Let's look at it real quick. 7 minutes before the top of the hour on this Sunday night kind of thing.
Main
WWE,
event.
huh?
Main event.
Yep. Last man standing match. The third time that they have done that in 18 months in WWE programming. John Cena versus Ryback. WWE Championship on the line. Tasha Simone, your thoughts?
I think we should get Matt Denton's thoughts first.
This is how much of a crap I do not give about this match. I want the finish to be Great Khali making his entrance on Unico's lowrider bicycle, going around the ring, possibly followed by Dusty Rhodes yelling, "He got a bicycle! He got a bicycle!" And Ryback and Cena just falling on the canvas, laughing their asses off until a referee counts to 10, so we can mercifully end this pay-per-view on a high note of the Great Khali on a bicycle.
I want him on a tricycle. I want him on a pimped out mutant tricycle. Not a bicycle, a tricycle.
He got a tricycle.
You're never gonna believe it. The Great Khali came riding to the wrestling ring on a tricycle, if you will. Tosh,
There you go.
come on in, Tosh.
I second Matt's motion. I want to see Khali on a lowrider bicycle. I would pop for that. Otherwise, I really don't give a damn about the match.
No, baby.
I really don't give a damn about the WWE and their pay-per-views, to be real honest. I think we should talk about Austin Aries and the crotch shot because I thought it was funny, and I think that they're wrong to fine him. And I know that's TNA, not WWE.
Oh,
I
that's
am that
fine.
smart.
No, go ahead, do it.
No, I'm just saying, I think it's bullshit. Christy Hemming's in the ring with guys. I'm sure she's sucked a dick before. It's not the first time she's had one in her face, so what's the big deal? And I saw it. It's not like he really thrust it in her face. He wasn't bumping and grinding. He just stood up on the middle row. So what? It was no big deal.
As opposed to somebody else on their roster, one Joey Ryan, whose one signature spot is a boobplex.
There you go.
Literally just going behind a woman, grabbing them by the tits, and throwing them over his head. There you go.
That'd be really kind of easy to do with ODB, wouldn't it?
Here, Jesse would be laughing so hard it wouldn't matter.
I would like to go swimming with her. I know I would never have to worry about drowning. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my personal flotation device, ODB.
Bam!
Look, I've always marked out for her character. I genuinely enjoy watching her on television. And like I said, I've had the opportunity to work with her before, and she is absolutely genuine behind the scenes, or at least she was to me, and which just increased that level of respect that much more. So, like I say, when I get a chance to, when she is on television, I'm damn good with that concept because she is fun to watch on television. And folks, that is something that is severely and sorely missed in a lot of ways. I talk about what's called forced drama in pro wrestling television and sports entertainment television. If you know what the hell you're doing booking matches and creating storylines, you don't have to rely on forced drama. You don't have to have it as the backbone of your company. You can let the men and women who step through those ropes and ply their trade and work their craft tell a story and do it, and they will do it right to where you don't have to rely on BS gimmicks. There is no reason whatsoever why Impact should have to resort to aces and eights, i.e. employing ex-WWE workers. Bring them in. Put them in there. You know, we were talking about the Ultimate Fighting Championship a little while ago. Hard segue. And I know ROH used to do stuff similar to this. Bellator is getting ready for their summer series. They are going to have their heavyweight tournament, and I believe it's their light heavyweight tournament, starting late June, mid to late June. I have gained so much for Bellator since the move to Spike and getting them that national television venue. When they return live in June, I want to say it's June 18th, I'm not totally positive. When they come back live, it is definitely going to be worth it to check it out. I just saw what you put in the chat. Apparently WWE's pre-show died of flaming death. Tech issues. God, I love it when that happens. I thought it only happened to us. Obviously,
I really must start doing this whole chat room thing.
Say what?
I said I really must start doing this whole chat room thing. Oh my God, that is great.
We got to get Tasha on Skype. That's all I can say. Well, tell you what.
I can't take from the bathtub. Oh my God.
Sure you can.
You can get Skype on your smartphone.
No.
Look, you took pictures of your soap sud kneecaps. You can Skype.
That was pretty funny too.
Yeah, it was. I kept trying to tilt the screen at a different angle. It didn't quite work the way I wanted it to.
Somebody's gonna get a pile driver.
I have survived pile drivers before.
Tasha's gonna kill you. Tasha's gonna kill you.
And tell you
But
what,
first she's going to Georgia.
yeah, probably. And tell you what, we're going to Georgia our way to the top of the hour break. We'll be right back in 5 on BR Live. And sometimes the rotator hits faster than we think it does. 5 minutes after the top of the hour, welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live. Fast Eddie Layne, Tasha Simone. Matt Denton had to step away for the evening. He's going to go torture himself by watching the WWE pay-per-view. And that's his words, not mine.
You did say that, Pete.
He did. I was dying. I want to remind everybody, in about 55 minutes from right now, 54, 53, something like that, Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio will be live here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Yours truly and Mad Dog Dan Sawyer taking over the reins of the airwaves for just a little while. And, of course, don't forget Wednesday nights. And I thought Ted Guinness was going to be coming in at the top of the 6 o'clock Central Time hour.
He doesn't love us anymore.
He what? He doesn't love us anymore?
Nope.
Yeah, because of what happened with rubbing me raw. He's kind of, rubbing me raw. He kind of, I don't know. No, just kidding. Ted's actually in a situation with the family right now, and everybody knows my rule of thumb: family always comes first. Of course, don't forget this coming Wednesday night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. The To Be Determined show returns live on BeyondRingside.com and also through the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I've been busting my tail to try to get the podcasts for everything caught up, and also put together the YouTube video versions for both shows, the slideshow versions. And I want to take a moment to say thank you, first off, to everybody who has been checking out the YouTube versions. All the positive feedback, the notes, the messages that have been sent my way have been. I'm very humbled and very appreciative. I do it because I want the shows on the network to have the maximum exposure possible. And I say the same thing about her behind her back that I say to her face. When you've got castmates like Tasha Simone, like Wicked Nemesis, Matt Denton, Ted Guinness, Mark Mabo Bowman, you've got a real great core of people to work with. And everybody has unique insights. We call BR Live is the flagship. 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern right here. And even though a lot of us share the time here on BR as well as TBD, we have different ways of putting out that perspective on the two shows. Now, granted, this is internet radio. And granted, we are also tape delay replayed in certain markets on terrestrial, which means Eddie has to go back in post-production and beep things sometimes. Now you know why. And Tasha's going, yeah, so? Did I take that one out from under you?
Oh, not fair.
Yeah, right. We do have a tendency to let it fly, and that was the rule of thumb for TBD. Let it rip. And it's not necessarily that we'll say the same thing just in a different manner over there. It's just sometimes we'll add it from a more, I guess you'd almost say from genuinely the worker's perspective or the insider's perspective. Because on BR Live, on Beyond Ringside, you know, I've had the honor of being in this industry over 25 years, and I'm still just as much a fan of it. And I can be critical as a worker in this business for different reasons than I can be critical as a fan. And I'm not afraid to let both sides of that out. And to a degree, no matter how long you've been in this industry, in the sport of professional wrestling, you still have to be somewhat of a fan of this in order to really, I hate to use this term, sell it. You have to be able to believe in it from your own personal perspective in order to make it work inside the ring. Correct me if you think I'm wrong on that, Tosh.
No. No correction.
Because you can go to the matches and you can, you know, if you've been going for a while, you know who's genuinely in it. And I'm going to use the Randy Jackson phrase, who's in it to win it. And you know the ones who are genuinely phoning it in. You can see it. You can smell it. I'm not going to say you can taste it. That would be really sick. But, speaking of Randy, you know, I actually had to sit back and watch because the finale of AI is normally something to pay attention to because last year sucked. 2 years ago.
I haven't watched it since they took Simon off because I just missed that level of meanness. He was the only reason I watched.
I watched the finale just to see who all they're going to book to bring in. What superstars can you bring in that either we A, haven't seen before, B, are relevant and germane, or C, can actually light up a crowd. I'm genuinely thankful to the fact that I did tune into the finale of American Idol because they had the 5 guys in the top 10 performing with Frankie Valli, one of the all-time greats in music. And they had via satellite, and there's your key phrase, via satellite live. You had the ladies in the top 10 performing with Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. I pop for that like a big dog because of the technical aspect of it. Here's what you got to think about this. They're in Los Angeles at the theater, wherever this thing is. The finalists are there on stage performing there. Aretha is on the East Coast in studio performing with her band. And they had everything synced up. From the technological side of everything, I was popping like a madman. Because to me, the technical side of it means just as much in the final presentation. You can have the greatest lights in the world. You can have the best director in the world. You can have a great cast. But if you don't have everything linked up right, it's gonna suck. So that's where I give credit where credit is due to that particular performance. And also the band Perry rocked the house. I like the band Perry. And the song that they...
I love the band Perry. I didn't even know they were going to be on. I truly have not watched AI in years.
Normally there's 2 episodes that I'll watch. One is the episode where you get to the final 3, where they will take them back to their hometowns, arrange for the little parade and the concert in the park. And I pop for the fact that these were people that 9 out of 10 people in their hometown may not have known a year ago. And because of American Idol, a reality TV show technically, or a so-called competition television show, they are now national semi-celebrities. I did say semi. I didn't say celebrities. I said semi-celebrities. Go into the studio, put out a good album, and take it to the top 10 on the Billboard charts. Then I will call you a celebrity. Win a Grammy, a People's Choice, a Golden Globe. Then I'll call you a celebrity. A Webby Award does not always make you a celebrity. It makes you an Insta star. Phineas and Ferb reference. But no, I mean, I had fun watching it just for, like I said, those particular moments. Unfortunately, the rest of the show wasn't that great. Thank God for the fast forward button on my DVR. I didn't watch it live. But now, I made a reference during the previous segment, and I want to get your insight on this, Tasha. I talk about one of the things that's in short supply in the sport of professional wrestling, and that is fun. Because we have a tendency, in ring, outside the ring, and behind the scenes, to take things, and you can put that in whatever context you'd like, too seriously and too much to heart, to where it doesn't come across as fun. One, what makes it fun for you? Two, what do promoters and bookers need to remember to help it to stay fun for the fans who are spending their hard-earned money?
Wow.
Hello?
You're probably going to be surprised at my response. Making it fun and keeping it fun. First of all, I like beating the crap out of people. That's just how it is. And I don't mind getting hit, because that's fun to me. I like combat. There are several of us that do. That's why we do what we do. That's why we were trained as wrestlers. To keep it fun for not just the wrestlers, but the fans as well, it's a real easy situation. Book talented wrestlers. It's not fun when you have to get in the ring with a non-trained piece of crap. The fans are not stupid. I talk about there's no such thing as a smart mark all the time, but that does not mean that wrestling fans don't know when something gets effed up.
Right.
It doesn't mean they don't know when something's not right. If you book talent, true talent, all of your matches are going to be solid, and your fans are going to go home happy. That's my response.
I'll agree. To a great degree, I will agree. I think that booking the right people in the right style of match, because you got people, you can have 100 fans in a show, and you may have 10 people who like the same style. You've got some who like good old-fashioned ground and pound. You like some, it's kind of like MMA. You've got fans of strikers, fans of wrestlers, fans of pure martial artists. And the same thing applies in professional wrestling. You've got those who like the traditional catch style, shooter style. You have those who like the flippy dippies, the aerial artists. Mm-hmm. And then you have the genuine, what I call genuine fans, who look at the entire match from start to finish and can understand the conveyance of a story, the psychology involved. They understand the fact that, okay, this is going in this direction. How are they going to take it? Hey, cool. I like the way that paid off. I'm not saying that any one fan is smarter than any other fan. That is not for me to decide. It never has been. It never will be. But I understand my intellect when it comes to pro wrestling. Just like I understand my intellect when it comes to mixed martial arts and boxing and real gi or no gi mixed martial arts tournaments. You know, I know, and this is something that I genuinely appreciate, when a promoter can book 6 matches on a card, and all 6 matches are a little bit different. The styles, the approaches, the execution. That's something that I've always been able to appreciate. If you've got 6 matches and they're all doing the same shit. Sorry, kids. and they're all doing the same stuff. It gets monotonous. You have to be able to have that kind of variety. Agree?
That is absolutely correct. That's why, man, this is almost going to be breaking kayfabe. But if the same guy is always the nice guy for every freaking time you've seen in 50 years, who cares? If the same people win all the time, because let's be honest, nobody's invincible. Nobody. There's no such thing as anyone that you cannot beat. It's just not realistic. You have to give things a change. Always.
Yep. Folks, tell you what, we're going 10 minutes before the bottom of the hour. We're about to call it shop here at the Radio Ranch on this 19th day of March 2013 for Beyond Ringside Live. I want to remind everybody, you can catch up with tag team partners Ted Guinness at Ted Guinness over on Twitter. And the way he'd say it, if you don't know how to spell Guinness, buy a damn beer. You can find the Wicked Nemesis on Twitter at Wicked Nemesis. Also, Ted Guinness and Wicked Nemesis are both on Facebook. You can find Matt Denton at Words from Prism. Prism, as in the multifaceted crystal that causes a different shade of light through every portal. Ha ha! I really didn't need to say that. I just felt like being an ass for a second and expounding on it. You know, I reserve the right to do that. I'm going to pull a gimmick that a longtime friend of mine who goes by the moniker of Coyote J, who hosts a very successful radio show called Edge, the home for progressive and postmodern rock. It's my show. Yeah. Meanwhile, Tasha, how can everybody find you on the networks?
Well, Matt's not here to give them my address on Facebook, so it's something with Tasha Simone in it. Just look up Tasha Simone. I'm the chick with the naked back and all of the tattoos. When you find a Tasha Simone, that is definitely me. On Twitter, you can find me at Tasha FM Simone. If you are going to follow me, beware. I come with a warning label that says does not play well with others, and I will make my opinions very blunt very quickly on Twitter. You can also find me on the web, www.tashasimone.com, and you can contact me for great championship-style wrestling gear and bookings at tashaSimoneNWA@gmail.com.
Yours truly, you can find me over on Facebook, facebook.com/Fast Eddie Layne, also at Fast Eddie Layne over on Twitter. From that vantage point, let me see, why didn't this kick off the way it's supposed to? The perils of doing things live. At Beyond Ringside over on Twitter, facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live is on Facebook. That is the Facebook fan page. Our Facebook friends page is still active, which is facebook.com/Beyond Ringside. 5,300 plus friends over on Facebook with honestly 1,866. I'm looking at it now. That's how many people are waiting to be added. So please, save a headache, go over to the Facebook fan page because granted, we do post different content on both pages. We do actually lean a little bit more to, we try to even it out. The major updates will go on both, but there are some things that'll go over on the Facebook fan page. Also, pro wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, sporting promoters. If you've got a live event that you would like to have mentioned here on Beyond Ringside, just shoot us an email, beyondringside@gmail.com. We're going to be bringing that full scale when we get into the new location. There is a strong chance that we will not be broadcasting next Sunday night. Things are going to be on a catch-as-catch-can basis for Beyond Ringside Live over the next couple of weeks, so please bear with us as we're making the transition. Remember, Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio goes live in 37 minutes from right now. Stick around, stay a while. The party's going to continue. And by the way, if you get a message on Twitter from MA_BO Mabo, that is Mark Bowman of Beyond Ringside. He does handle a lot of our talent booking for interviews. It's real, it's legit, and he always, always, always works everything out for everybody's best possible advantage.
And we love him.
Yes, we do. He is my little brother. Or my little big brother. I haven't quite figured that out. We're getting on the generics of that whole situation right there. That's all I can say. For Ted Guinness, have a great weekend with the family. For the Wicked Nemesis, have a great weekend with the family. For Matt Denton, please don't abuse yourself too much during the WWE pay-per-view. We that we don't want you to go into a catatonic state and end up calling everybody that C word. Don't say it.
Tabbed over.
For Tasha Simone,
Love, peace, and pain, Pete.
this is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne. By the way, be sure to keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com. It will be updated very quickly. I just noticed that I hadn't updated in the last couple of weeks. My fault. And be sure to keep your eyes on Fast Eddie Layne, LAYNE.com. Until next time, I'll see you in about 37 minutes. Adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abbasinio, au revoir, and until we meet again. You know, all that good shit. Have a great one. We'll see you next time, right here on Beyond Ringside Live.